everybody! Welcome to the last episode of this team's rendition of UF Cast. Sadly, we'll be going away for the summer and never return.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Ted, for the beginning. I'm your dear host, Eva, and I am joined today by the terrific Ted. Thank you so much for being here. How do you feel about this being the last episode?
Ambivalent. I'm sad. Wait, that's not ambivalent. It's just one.
It's just one emotion. Yeah, it doesn't count. Well, Ted, you should know today we're going to talk about Bosnia-Herzegovina.
All right.
Yeah, because our association, UF Malmö, actually went on a trip for a week to Bosnia.
Ooh.
And we thought it would be interesting to just promote this country for our podcast, since I feel like a lot of people...
And now we're trying to get them back. They are being held hostage and we're trying to get them back.
That is awfully cliche.
Okay, yeah, you can cut that part.
But I feel like when people hear Bosnia, they immediately think about the war. Or I guess younger people actually think of nothing, because a lot of students, when they heard about the trip, didn't even know the country.
Right.
Yes, and they didn't seem super enthusiastic, to be honest. But Bosnia is very beautiful and interesting, and we'll prove it to you today. Like, little fun fact, do you know Bosnia has 3 presidents? 3 official languages?
Little Roman Empire throwback right there. The triumvirate reincarnated.
It is super interesting, right? That's
Very
why you should
interesting.
continue listening to us and learn more about it.
Let me tell you, listeners, I'm glued to my seat, and not because Eva tied me down for this episode.
Amazing. People, you should know this episode will be divided into 2 parts. The first being a bit more about the history and culture of Bosnia, and the second will focus on the opinions of students who went on the trip. So, dear listeners, before we start, remember to follow us on Spotify, Insta, and YouTube at UF Malmö. And now, please make yourself comfortable. Have kaffa, maybe baklava, some sweets, and enjoy.
Jingle time. Bosnia-Herzegovina, we're gonna talk about Bosnia. Bosnia-Herzegovina, it's a pretty cool place, you should go.
Careful, I'm gonna put you.
Go for it.
Before we started, what do you know about Bosnia-Herzegovina?
In my mind, it's the only country that's 2 countries in the title. And that's the only thing that I know. And I know about Sarajevo, but I only know the name. I don't know anything more specific.
Oh, you just know the name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's play true or false, okay?
Okay.
Sarajevo hosted the Winter Olympics in 1984.
In 84.
1984.
1984. If I remember correctly, that's when Canada won the hockey game. No, I have no idea what happened in 1984. I'm going to say false. That never happened.
I thought you were already alive at that point.
Yeah, I wasn't.
It is true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honestly, that kind of shocked me too. Next one. Trams were first regularly used in Europe in Sarajevo. Like they were kind of the first one to use it. Trams. Street car.
I'm gonna continue my streak and say false.
No, it is true.
Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised by that fact. If someone in Bosnia invites you for coffee, you'll probably stay there for hours.
Sounds like a hostage situation. Like they trap you with the coffee, and yeah, sure. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go 3 for 3. It's false. I'm thinking.
You're Romanian. You should know the answer.
What? Did they love drinking coffee?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It is true. Of course it is. You should know Balkan coffee culture is very serious. You never just get coffee and just go. You arrive very unannounced at someone's place or family or whatever, and he's like, oh, može kafa? And you're like, oh, I there. And you just stay there for so long hours. But yeah, you sat there for hours and you just talk, and I think Nordic people could never do that.
I mean, they got fika, so I think that's their version, right?
How long do you stay for fika? 2 minutes?
Yeah,
okay.
If you hate the person.
Next one. Bosnia is where World War I started.
Yes. I'm gonna say yes because Serbian... Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. The Serbian king or prince was assassinated somewhere around that region. And that's what Franz Ferdinand?
Yes, you're very close.
Franz Josef Ferdinand.
Ah, you close.
He got assassinated
Yeah, it is true.
in this region, and that kicked off the World War One.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in a minute. But
Okay.
yeah, but you good. You know something. That's good.
I am 1 for 3 for 4. History of Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Okay, let's talk more about Bosnia itself now. So,
No, Herzegovina?
it's okay to say just Bosnia, okay?
Okay. I think they will be offended, but what do I know?
Bosnia-Herzegovina feels like multiple worlds existing at the same time, geographically, culturally, religiously, and historically. And a big reason for that is that Bosnia's position in Europe. Because for centuries, the region stood between major empires and influences. From the 15th century, Bosnia became part of the Ottoman Empire. And
Classic Ottoman Empire move.
And that Ottoman influence, it's still visible today in the architecture, in the food, in the coffee culture, in the religion too, since Islam became deeply rooted in Bosnian society during that period. Then, surprising fact, I didn't know that, but in 1878, Bosnia came under Austro-Hungarian control.
Hungarian.
Yes. And honestly, that makes Sarajevo kind of fascinating visually because the city still looks like a mix between East and Central Europe. Like you can walk from Ottoman-style streets into Austro-Hungarian avenues in a few minutes. And instead of replacing one another completely, these influences kind of stayed layered on top of each other, which gave Bosnia this really unique atmosphere. I would say one of the craziest things about Bosnia is that this relatively small country somehow keeps ending up at the center of major moments in European history. Like you said previously, like in 1914, Sarajevo became the place where Archduke Franz Ferdinand is assassinated, which will then trigger World War I. And you should know, by the way, if you visit Sarajevo, there is an actual impression of the 2 footprints in the pavement of the guy who killed Ferdinand.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, his name was Gavrilo Princip. You know, it's like where he fired the shot that killed the Archduke.
Right.
It's very...
The Archduke. Sounds like a cartoon character. The Archduke.
No, that's true. So you can basically stand there and... Yeah, my friend went there and he took a picture, but I can show you the actual...
That is so dystopian. You can sit in his shoes and cosplay as the shooter that caused World War I. That's...
What? Can you describe the picture?
I'm looking at 2 footprints on the pavement, and they are engraved in cement or some metal.
Yeah, and if you go there, you can actually stand there.
Wow. And pretend that you caused the death of millions of people during the World War I. I mean, it is what happens.
Okay, well, after World War II, Bosnia became part of Socialist Yugoslavia under Tito. And I feel like we kind of need to explain what Yugoslavia actually was, because a lot of people hear Yugoslavia and...
I think I'm pretty smart. I think I know history, so I think we can skip it.
Okay. Tell me the 6 republics of Yugoslavia.
You got Yugoslavia 1 through 6.
You should know some of the country, no? Like, come on. The 6 republics. Come on.
Okay, you got Serbia. You got Kosovo. You got...
Okay, you're already wrong. Okay, so Yugoslavia was actually a federation made up of 6 republics, like I said. So
Right.
Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, and Macedonia.
And
Yugoslavia was
missing
quite...
Macedonia, but other than that, I was pretty on the money.
No, you were not. You said Kosovo, Ted.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
But yeah, it was quite unique politically because unlike countries in Eastern Europe of the time, Yugoslavia united multiple ethnicities, religion, and republics inside one federation. And for a long time, many people generally identified as Yugoslav before identifying with a specific ethnicity. Sarajevo especially became this symbol of multicultural Yugoslavia, which is why the 1984 Winter Olympics are so important. Sarajevo hosting the Olympics wasn't just a sport event, it was almost symbolic. It represented a modern, multicultural, and internationally open version of Yugoslavia. For decades, Tito tried to maintain this idea of a shared Yugoslav identity above ethnic division, and for a while it generally worked. But after Tito dies in 1980, things slowly start destabilizing. The economy weakens, communism starts collapsing across Eastern Europe, and nationalism begins rising again inside Yugoslavia. And this is where things become a bit complicated. Because political leaders increasingly start using fear, ethnic tension, and historical trauma to gain power. So, first in 1991, Slovenia declares independence, then Croatia too, and war begins. In 1992, Bosnia also declares independence, and shortly after, Bosnian Serb forces backed by the Yugoslav army surrounded Sarajevo. And, well, Sarajevo becomes a city under siege for almost 4 years, which is the longest siege in modern European history. Bosnia's situation was way more complicated than Slovenia because Bosnia was deeply mixed ethnically. There was Bosniaks, Serb, Croats, and people didn't live in completely separated territories. They live in the same city, the same neighborhood, sometimes even the same family, which is why the Bosnian War became so violent. Because unlike other conflict, there was no clear separation between population. And honestly, when you read some testimonies from people who lived there, it sounds kind of unreal. Because, there was civilians crossing streets while snipers watched from the hills surrounding the city, people running between buildings to avoid being shot, no electricity, no heating.
Sounds like hell.
It was food shortage, constant shelling, and yet people still tried to preserve some kind of a normal life. Concerts were still happening, cafes still reopened when possible, and a lot of artists just continue creating. Another thing that made the Bosnian War so shocking internationally was the role of the international community. Throughout the conflict, the United Nations deployed peacemakers, the famous, the blue helmet.
Oh, yeah. The UN peacekeeping force.
Exactly. To try to stabilize the situation and protect civilians. The problem was that these peacekeepers were often completely overwhelmed and did not really have the military power or authority to stop the violence. The UN created this so-called safe zone across Bosnia where civilians were supposed to be protected. But in reality, these areas were still extremely vulnerable. And nowhere did that failure become more visible than in Srebrenica. In July 1995, which is very recent to be honest, Bosnian Serbs forces entered the town which had officially been declared UN safe area. Over the course of a few days, more than 8,000 Bosnian Muslim men and boys were systematically murdered.
Jesus.
It became one of the darkest moments in Europe since World War II. And a symbol of the international community's inability to prevent the massacre despite having troops on the ground. After Srebrenica, international pressure massively increased. NATO, led largely by the United States, launched airstrikes against Bosnian Serb military position. Combined with diplomatic negotiation, this eventually pushed the different sides toward the Dayton Peace Agreement later in 1995, which officially ended the war.
Yay!
Yay! But even though the fighting stopped, the consequences of the war never really disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah. And honestly, you can still kind of feel it in Bosnia today, both politically and emotionally. Yeah, in some way, it still feels very present because the Dayton Agreement stopped the violence, but it also created an extremely complicated political system designed to balance the country's different communities. This is where the three president things come from. Bosnia has actually a rotating presidency made up of a Bosnian, a Serb, and a Croat representative.
So they rotate every 6 months between them, or do they all make decisions that the president would make by himself.
Every 8 months they rotate, apparently.
And we knew this off the top of our heads.
But yeah, it sounds kind of unreal the first time you hear that, the free president thing. The country is also divided into different entities with their own governments and institutions. And, well, you can see that politics can become very complicated very quickly because of. But yeah, I think Bosnia fascinates a lot of people politically because the country is still trying to navigate the consequences of the war while also moving toward the future. Because at the same time, Bosnia is officially a candidate for joining the European Union. Yeah, so it's this kind of weird contrast where the country is still shaped by the legacy of the 90s, but also trying to integrate more closely with Europe politically and economically. Despite everything the country went through, it never felt completely frozen in tragedy. Like, almost everyone who visits, like even I told you one of my friends, feels a weird level of affection towards it. And honestly, I kind of understand it because the city seems to carry its history a bit everywhere without completely being trapped by it. And I think you can definitely feel that through Bosnian cinema and music. Yeah, now
I don't know if I've seen any Bosnian movies. Maybe I heard some songs, but...
We need to talk about Emir Kusturica. Do you know him?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. This guy was born in Sarajevo in 1954 and is one of the most internationally recognized filmmakers to come out of the Balkan.
Ooh.
He won the Palme d'Or at Cannes twice.
All right. What movies did he make? Do I know anything?
There's 2 of his movies that I love. I love it. It's my childhood. So I don't know if you know Times of the Gypsies?
Don't think so.
It's also called Dom za Večanje.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know it.
Almost believe me for a minute. It is amazing. The music is incredible. The music was also made by a very famous compositor internationally named Goran Bregović.
Oh, yeah. I know him.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes, he's super famous. And I even saw when I was making some research that he's supposed to have a concert in Copenhagen here in like November. So he's still doing concert, but he's super famous and he made all the music in the Time of the Gypsy movie. The Time of the Gypsy movie is an amazing movie. It's a very dramatic movie in the sense that you'll cry so hard, but it's so good. They usually put it on television for like Orthodox Christmas. That's where I watch it usually with my family. But I definitely recommend it. It was filmed also in the entire Yugoslavia at the time, so you see a lot of the different country. It's really beautiful. It's amazing. There's a bit of fantasy.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil anyone because the story is really incredible. So yeah. The second movie I love, and again, masterpiece, is Black Cat, White Cat. Ted, do you know it?
White Cat, Black Cat. Never heard of it.
Black Cat, White Cat.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's a sequel. No, I don't know it.
So it's also named Crna mačka, Beli mačkor.
I still don't recognize it.
Okay, it's also made by Kusturica, and it's a comedy, and it's so funny. I think it's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. With my mother, we love it so much. It's like a thief who's trying to steal something, and then there's a wedding with a very small woman and a very tall guy, and it is super weird. It's amazing. I love the music too. The music is amazing.
Oh, this one has a musical too? Or
there's music every time, okay?
Okay.
It's so good. I literally listen to the soundtrack. You can find the soundtrack on Spotify, by the way. Black Cat, White Cat. Listen to the music. It's so good. One of my favorites is Bubamara, which means ladybug, because the woman is so short, they call her Bubamara.
Ah, okay.
But it's...
Little ladybug.
Yes, but Kusturica music, like themes in general, are just... There's a real Balkan atmosphere. You know, it's amazing. It's chaotic, emotional, surreal, and funny at the same time. There's like, wedding, music, animal, lot of animals running everywhere, madness. It's incredible. So, I definitely recommend it. Do you have some artists, maybe Balkan, but you want to recommend it?
No.
You're Romanian. You should know some people.
This is a Bosnia-Herzegovina podcast. I have no specific recommendations, no.
Well, go see Emir Kusturica movie and listen to Goran Goran Bregovic.
Kalashnikov.
No, I like Gas.
That's him, right? Yeah, okay.
Classic, come on. Now, let's hear from the students who went on the US trip.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm going to interview
Anna.
And could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Hello, my name is Anna. I'm from Estonia, and I'm currently a first-year student studying my bachelor's in European Studies. And I'm a travel coordinator here in UF Malmö and the future travel lead.
Yay! So that's an honor to have you here, and I'm sure there will be some interesting trips with you in the future, because this trip was amazing and the organization also. But before we go further into that, Anna, what did you know about Bosnia and Herzegovina beforehand?
I knew a little bit because around 9 years ago, I went there to the south side of Bosnia-Herzegovina, to Mostar. So I was there only maybe an hour or so, like 9 years ago. So not a lot. I knew about the country, to be honest. So that's why I felt it was really important for us to organize a trip to Bosnia-Herzegovina, because it's a very unknown in a way, and underrated country, even though a lot of people might know the history around, especially from the Yugoslavian war, but still it's kind of one of the least visited countries in Europe, which is not in the European Union and Schengen zone, but still in the European continent.
Yeah. And to just add on that, I also knew just something about the history, something from my studies about genocide or international court. But otherwise, I didn't know even the location, sorry, and the flag. But now I know so much because of the trip. And I think that it's so actually underrated. To comment on that, what were maybe your expectations?
I didn't have a lot of expectations going into the trip, as me and my team were organizing this trip like for quite a few months. Then we were just more worried than actually having like positive like expectations, I feel like. So we were worried about the different, like the organization and how things would turn up with the visits and everything. But I think overall it went everything smoothly, so I don't think I should have been that scared going into the country. But yeah, I was just expecting it to have everyone fun. That was what I was hoping for.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I was also scared beforehand and a little bit when I was leaving because of the borders and that it's not you, and maybe some money, things like you need to have cash, which we don't have in Sweden. But overall, I think that my expectations were very much exceeded, if you can say so. And I think that I learned quite a lot. What did you discover in Bosnia?
I discovered a lot. I feel like the visits that we planned and also the different places that we discovered around the country, like the south side of the country, we didn't go sadly everywhere during the week, but I think it was very important to also listen to different NGOs and different organizations, how things are going in the country, because it's not a country that's very much in the news as well. So we were visiting different places like the Swedish embassy in Sarajevo, then the EU delegation and the UN house. But also we had a lecture in the University of Sarajevo and visited the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but also two NGOs that were the Post-Conflict Research Center and the Balkan Investigative Reporting Network. So we had a lot of different side views, different voices and views about the country, both positive and negative. So for me, that was very interesting to listen to these conversations and also to have an open discussion about these things, as many of the places were very open-minded to us. I think especially the UN house was surprisingly
Yes.
open-hearted, which is a weird thing to say, but they were very conversational and very critical as well of the country, which I think is important for their work, but it was very interesting for them to even tell some things
Yes.
that they were showing and how things are going economically, but also culturally. So yeah, I think there was a lot to learn, and I really valued my time there, to be honest. And
Yes.
a week was not enough at all. I think I said like one of the final days, like we need 1 or 2 more days just to discover more, to go to other different places or anything. So there's a lot to see. And
yeah, and a lot of to try and eat. Especially in the last days, we were discovering even more foods, and we were like, how can we be without this food, this weather, this nature, these people?
There's a lot of good food. It's a very meat and bakery heavy country, but there's a lot of like even sweets that you could buy, bakeries.
Yeah.
There's even international food available, but a lot of Bosnian
But who
or
wants
Balkan.
that?
Who wants it? Yeah. So we got to try a lot of different things, and everyone was very hospitable, and they just loved having us. So
yeah, and it was very much on a budget. Of course, as Anna would say, that it shouldn't be your first like priority just because that's cheap country, but that's a nice tweak to
it's
this.
a nice bonus to have, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, just take out some cash. I think that's the kind of tip I would say about Bosnia-Herzegovina, is that a lot of places don't accept card. So, but at least there's ATMs everywhere around. So you can always take out cash or have some euros with you and exchange them. So yeah, it's very important. It's a little old school, I could say, country.
Yeah, back to old school. Back to Sweden, I don't know in which year, because for Sweden, it's very strange to have anything cash. But overall, what I would say, and what is one of the main lessons that I learned, is that the country has a lot of cultures. The country has a lot of different influences, also international presence, and the country still holds the war legacy, and post-war recovery is still there. Maybe not always actually recovery, but the trauma is there, and it's important to acknowledge it and to learn from that, especially in the current international order. But at the same time, it is amazing to see how beautiful, how tasty, delicious, and very fun and energizing that country actually is. So for me, despite all of the bad stuff and war legacy, I think that the culture, food, and people prevail.
Yeah, I learned so much during that trip. I think not even talking about organizationally, but also just about the country and how friendly the people are and how much there is to learn about them and how much hope they have for the country, even though they haven't progressed so much actually for like becoming a EU member in the last 10 years. So they have a lot to do, and it's very exciting to see, I think, in the next 5 or even 10 years, to see how the country will go to. So yeah, I think people have a lot to learn, and it's worth visit. It's only 2 hours by plane from Copenhagen. There's a straight flight.
And the tickets are cheap. And also, actually, I learned that a few days ago, the Ryanair started going from Stockholm to Sarajevo and also other places.
Yeah.
So book the trip and go there and enjoy your summer in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Hope it's not too hot.
And not only go to Sarajevo, I think it's very important to also see other places and other cities and the nature, of course.
Kravica waterfalls.
Yeah, Kravica waterfalls. And Mostar is a little touristic, I would say, but I think it's still a little bit worthwhile to visit. But yeah, I think it's also good if you book like a tour, as we did. We booked a 1-day tour to visit a lot of the locations south side of the country, which I think made it really easy for us to just hop on a van and go to the next location without navigating the public transportation network, which is not very strong, sadly, in Bosnia-Herzegovina. But hopefully one day we'll see. But if you have a car, that's always a plus that you can visit. I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah. And also we visited both Bosnia and Herzegovina. So kind of like, as they explained, all of the three parts of the name. But I would say that it should definitely be discovered by more people. And we wish the best luck to Bosnian people and Bosnia as a country to have better life. And I actually saw how much people like that place and how they, despite everything, stay because of the nature, because of the people, family, food, everything. And it's impressive to see. I think that it has hope and future, and we are excited to see what is coming next for that country. And just as a last maybe note, that there is a very big diaspora of Swedish diaspora, or
there's around 100,000 Bosnians living in Sweden alone. So there's a lot of Bosnians living outside of Bosnia, but I feel like there's a lot of them actually trying to go back as well. So there's a bit of a change happening, but who knows in the future? I think just people have hope right now.
Yeah. And there are also some Swedish businesses and a lot of actually international cooperation and international support. Swedish support and Swedish cooperation with Bosnia. That was impressive to see, because we went to Swedish embassy and we were like, wow, that's something very new to discover, that such countries are actually much closer than we could have imagined.
Yeah, so go visit. Have your own set of eyes. If you need any recommendations, just contact the travel committee here in UF Malmö, and we will be happy to give you the recommendations as well. But the next trip won't be Bosnia, sadly, so because we like to change it up a bit every semester. So look forward to the next trip.
But thank you so much for joining me today and being here as a co-host.
We finally arrived at the end of this Bosnia-Herzegovina episode. It was very hard to do since the history is so rich and hard to condense, but we did it! So,
Don't
I'm
say
sad.
we didn't.
I'm kind of sad we didn't talk much about the food, because Balkan food is incredible and I do miss it very much in Sweden. Thank you again to everyone who participated. Thank you, Ted, for being here. Do you have any
You're
last
welcome.
word?
Go. If you have the chance, take the opportunity to educate yourself about other countries. And if you get the chance to go to that specific country, go for it, because there's nothing like learning history in the place that you are.
Thank you,
Living
Ted.
history.
Very wise word from Ted the Terrific.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Nora behind the computer, thank you so much. And thank you to our dear listener for listening to us. Remember to follow us on
Did you say our dear listener? Like one? Like there's one?
listeners. Remember to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Insta, at UF Malmö, and see you in the next episode next semester. Well, we won't be there, but amazing people probably will replace us. So, thank you, everyone. Bye.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Jingle time. Bosnia-Herzegovina, we're gonna talk about Bosnia. Bosnia-Herzegovina, it's a pretty cool place. You should go.
Careful, I'm gonna put you.
Go for it.